All right, yo! I'll make this video. Yo! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! All right. Now I had read somewhere that if you do some wild, I guess the first 30 seconds of a video kind of determines whether somebody's gonna watch your video. So I hope that helps. Anyways, I'm kind of getting sick. It's getting cold here in South Texas. It's gonna be about, I think, like 29 tonight. It's like 38 right now. Anyways, got some coffee. Dude, McDonald's coffee fucking kicks. It's awesome. Went to the gym. Was doing some schoolwork, taking some classes just because I'm fucking bored. I'm out here on the road about to deliver some fucking food with Uber Eats because that's where it's at. And on the low key. But anyways, I was gonna make a video real quick before I go out and fucking deliver to these foodies. Check it out. So there was a topic on my mind for a while, and I had done a little research. I just read an article. That's what I call research. Just read an article. But it was about the post-truth era, right? I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that before, but it's basically the era that we're living in now. With the COVID that happened, it's wild to think, COVID happened 6 years ago. That's wild to think. Like, I find that hard to wrap my mind around. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, people wearing masks, everywhere they went. They were doing the 6 feet, right? Just to think back, like, don't forget that stuff, because people forget pretty easily. And yeah, it was 6 years ago, but dude, masks, 6 feet, you can't hang out with people you used to hang out with, all that crazy shit, right? Which was, in my opinion, a social experiment gone wrong. Well, it depends on who you ask. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about the post-truth era. And, I haven't been alive for forever. I mean, I'm only 29. I haven't been alive for a long time. But it's just kind of strange to think that, like, before 2020, things seem kind of normal. And in that sense, I mean that you kind of trusted your institutions. There was the conspiracies about 9/11 and Bush and all that stuff, which now we know is, a lot of the evidence points to the fact that those weren't conspiracies. But that's now, compared to then, when we all kind of trusted our institutions. Things weren't flipped upside down. A boy was a boy, a girl was a girl, kind of stuff. And then now, after COVID, we all kind of saw through the veil, and it's like our government doesn't even care anymore. They're just like, fuck it, dude. It's like the Wizard of Oz. The Oz dude got caught, and they were like, oh my god, look, he's behind the curtain. And then it was as if, like, the Oz guy was just like, fuck it. Instead of, like, in the movie, he was like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna close the curtain. It's like our government's now like, fuck it, let them know. And they're just kind of like unashamed about everything that's going on, and left, right, it's all the same. So the post-truth era, I was reading this article. Let's see. Where's it at? Okay, it's by you can look it up, Boston College Magazine. It's a little dated. If you've ever done any research papers, you kind of tend to skip over these dated articles. But being that 2020 was a pretty important year in regards to COVID and everything that went down, this is good evidence, right? This is good to look back and be like, okay, this is what was going on. Welcome to the post-truth America. This is dated fall 2020. So basically when all this shit was really going down globally. With the rise of social media and partisan news outlets, everyone now has their own opinions and their own facts. Can we break free from our echo chambers? So it's just kind of weird. That's interesting that it says everybody has their own opinions, which everybody has always had their own opinions, right? It's good to have opinions. It's good to have differing opinions. But the second part about that, and their own facts. Traditionally, facts were those things that were you can't argue against it. If it is what it is. Stop signs are red. Asphalt is black. Buildings are made of brick. You know, stuff. Not all the time, right? But you know what I'm saying, like fish survive in water kind of shit. Like, you can't argue that. It is what it is. And now this article is arguing that we're in a post-truth era, basically, with social media. Look, check it out. So I studied communication, right? I studied for 4 years. I got my bachelor's in 23. You study all this stuff. You study mass media. You study social media. You study the masses. You study humans' communication on a micro and a macro level. You do all these research papers on different subjects relating to communication. Hold on, I gotta keep my eye out. These cops, New Braunfels cops, they're pretty cool, but sometimes they bother me. I'm like, bro, I'm just chilling. So, you know, the article goes through about how COVID, and of course they're dogging on Trump because everybody was dogging on Trump at that time, and it was like the popular trendy thing to do. Let's see. So I saw this stuck out to me. The reality is that we're able to create many types of realities because of the communication tools, these things, we now surround ourselves with, said Michael Cirazio, an associate professor in the BC Communication Department. We produce information from social networks and tailor it to what we prefer. We live in a filtered bubble. It's the notion of our ability to cocoon ourselves in news content that won't cause cognizant dissonance. So basically, with the rise of social media, like I remember social media just being on, I think it was MySpace when I started, like the 2000s, late 2000s. You know, you log on, check to see who messaged you from school or who added you. Then you log off and you go on about your day. Now it's constant. I'm guilty of it. You know, almost everybody's guilty of it. Having this constantly in our face. So basically, when people create their little TikToks, like I don't fucking make TikTok, fuck that. But when people, I mean, I'll make like Instagram stories or whatever. Basically, you're creating a reality, right? This is a constant that I heard in my communication classes, is communication is reality. Communication is reality. Communication is reality. And eventually it started to click. I was like watching the news. Oh, the producers and the anchors are creating a reality for us. It might not even be true. Most of the time it's not. But they're creating something. And if you're uneducated, you know, you can read a book and be self-educated. But if you're uneducated according to the system, like you didn't go to this and such institution, this is the kind of stuff that they say is conspiracy. This is a fucking little nugget for y'all. It's not conspiracy. A lot of this stuff that this system deems conspiracy is just normal, average people most of the time questioning the system, and a lot of the times they're pretty spot on. But unless you're educated and, you know, you have your degree, you're not taken seriously. Shit, I'm hardly taken seriously because, look, I'm fucking delivering food, Uber food. I don't like the system. I was a part of the system. I did my time in the system. I've explored the system. And there's nothing for me there. I fucking hate it. Because to get along in this system, especially nowadays, is to be fake, to lie, to step on other people. And nah, I'm good. I'm chilling. But let me move on. Fuck, I'm getting sick. So basically, you make your own reality. You filter it, you edit it, and then you post it, right? And it's like, oh my god, look what Shelly's doing. They're going to the mall and they're doing this. Oh my god, their life looks so cool. It's all tailored, it's all manufactured, and it's all, you're creating a reality for other people to look at. What I was saying about this news, basically TV, anything, any media, they're creating a reality that makes it seem like this is what's on the screen is what's real. That's what Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, their job is to make us believe whatever they say is real. That is creating a reality. It might not be the reality, it might not be your reality, but they're in a position of power. Their sponsors, whoever pays their bills, they have to answer to them, and they're creating a reality for us. It sounds crazy, right? This shit sounds like conspiracy stuff, but it is what it is. Again, this article is Welcome to Post-Truth America, Boston College Magazine. If you want to look it up yourself, it's a little dated again, but it's pretty interesting. Not that long of a read. Let's see, anything else that stuck out? It talks about, you know, nowadays things are different. We used to have trusted news sources. Back in the good old days of the network news and large reputable news organizations, they were the arbiters, said Gerald Kane, a professor at the Carroll School of Management who also helps Fortune 500 companies develop strategies in response to change, whatever. So there was pretty strong public trust in them. And like we all kind of saw, if you weren't born in 2020 and after, which there's no way you're watching this, there's no fucking way. We all saw, and I'm sure generations before had seen this in their times, with whatever events that were happening in their lives. We all saw public trust fall in our institutions. We all saw it falter. We all saw through it, but we all had to comply. It is what it is. It sucks. We all had to get a shot. If you got a shot, if you didn't, I had to get it because of fucking work at the time. But shit like that, we all saw through it, and we're like, they kind of lied to us. That shot wasn't even really anything, and the masks were fucking dumb. Anyways, there was strong public trust. This post-truth era, basically what this article is saying is that, and again, you can go read it, the rest of it's just a bunch of other things, but I kind of pulled out what was interesting. Algorithms. All right, look, you can go read it if you want. Pretty much, with the rise of social media being in our hands all the time, we can look up the information we want to look up. We have algorithms on our phones that bring up information that is similar to what we've been looking up. And then we create videos and posts and pictures that are tailored and filtered to what we want people to see. Basically what the news media does up there, but on a micro version. So in a way, we're all creating our own facts, our own truths. And in this era is what I'm getting to, right? This is what I'm supposed to be getting to. Bottom line, it's hard to discern what's true and what's false. And that's really concerning especially for the generations that come after us. But even so for us now, it's concerning because when you don't know the truth, anything goes, and when anything goes, there's chaos. There's chaos. If you disagree, tell me I'm lying. You see it all around you today. Chaos in the streets, on the news. I know I just talked shit about the news. Locally, at work, at school, in the institutions, what they're teaching, all this bullshit. And again, you look on the World Economic Forum's website and it'll tell you all why that's going on. But I'm a conspiracy theorist. But it's chaos. When there's no truth, there's chaos. Chaos abounds. Chaos loves when there's no truth. Because if there's no truth, there's nothing solid holding us all down together in solidarity, agreeing this is this and that is that. With this post-truth era, this could be this, but it could also be this. But if I want it to be this, it could be this or it could be this. It's almost as if like a mime or like a jester or a, I don't know who does the smoke, magician is like coming up to you and being like, ooh, whatever, right? It's like smokescreen shit. And it's pretty frustrating, especially to somebody that wants the truth. They just want the truth. They don't want to be lied to. They don't want to be pulled around, dragged around. They don't want to be belittled. They don't want to be, just bottom line, be lied to. Nobody likes being lied to. Even liars don't like being lied to, I'm sure. I mean, we're all, whatever, capable of it. But yeah, that's the bottom line. And I'll end it with this. I'll make some more videos. I have a bunch of other topics I've been thinking about. Maybe I'll do it with a better background or something. But check it out. What's that? But I'll end it with this. But so, yeah, if there's no truth, then anything goes, and that's why there's all this confusion. That's why, you know, we're at each other's throats. We're a divided country. We don't agree on anything nowadays. But I'm gonna end it with this one. This one's up. And look, I know I cuss. I know I say stuff sometimes that I shouldn't, but and people like to say, oh, you know, Christians, this, that, and the other, I didn't like Christians for the longest time. I grew up in a Baptist church. I always felt that they were goody two-shoes. They thought they were better than everybody. Until I kind of experienced life, and I was like, oh shit, this Jesus dude's real, because this world is screwed up. And I always wondered, why did they kill Jesus? Like, why would they kill this man? What's wrong with people? Like, what did he do? He was just trying to, like, he was just telling the truth. And then, you know, I had experienced life. He went to the military, had done a couple jobs. You know, I talked about my experience with local politics and working at the county and all this stuff. And you start to see, yeah, truth isn't really like the greatest thing to be like spouting out. I had a friend at the county. She had told me one time, and I think about it sometimes. She said, I was honest. I'm too honest sometimes, or like I was honest to a fault. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, how can somebody be too honest? Like in the military, right? In the Marines especially, they're like, hey, straight up, it's this or it's this. Like, there's no in between. Like, fuck out of here with that shit, dude. Nobody has time to waste. That's why Marines are like, as a Marine, I'm confused with this new world, right? I'm like, what the fuck? But she had told me that, and I was like, what does that mean? Because I would just say shit just straight up. And then I started to realize, especially working there, I was like, maybe I should have just not been so honest about certain stuff. And I didn't last there too long. Anyways, I want to end it with this. With this post-truth era that I was talking about, And if you're looking for truth, again, I'm not perfect. I'm still trying. I'm doing what I can. I go to church sometimes. Haven't been in a while, but if somebody were to ask me, they would come up to me and be like, "Hey, dude, like, what is truth?" Especially nowadays. What is truth? How do you know that this is that, this and that? All I could tell somebody is like the Bible. I was like, that's truth, because all this out here, there's nothing close to it. And then, oh, well, you think like Jesus rose from the dead, this and that? It's like, yeah, I believe that. You think that he was the Son of God? Yeah, I believe that. I do, like, straight up. That's what I believe. Some people believed Fauci and our government during 2019. They believe that. That's wild. So yeah, I just want to finish off this video with this scripture. I'm gonna start ending my videos with scripture, because ultimately I could rant and rave about everything under the sun having to do with like truth or this world. And you make a video about something, or there's a topic you're talking about, and say it's like depressing, like a lot of this stuff is on my channel that I'm making. It's gonna be depressing, because life and truth can be depressing, but you don't ever want to leave somebody just hanging like that. So I can't fix the world. I can't change society in a huge, humongous way. But what I can do is leave you guys with scripture, because it helps me daily. It's the only thing that makes sense in this world. Yeah. And then I'll make a video, later on. I had my experience in 2024, in the summer 24, when I believed that I was saved, and that was a whole nother thing. So the Bible started to really speak to me differently. So yeah, this one's John 14:6, New International Version. And okay, I'll just go with the scripture. Yeah. Jesus answered, this is out of context because I think he was talking to one of his disciples or something. Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Yeah. So especially nowadays, when people are confused, what's the truth? That's fake news. That's I forgot what that other term is called, but it's basically like false narratives or whatever. It's like, dude, y'all really gonna trust the system that lied to y'all, been lying to y'all, still lying to y'all, still lying to us? Jesus spoke the truth to that system. At the time, it was I forgot which Caesar it was, but it was the Romans were still in charge of Israel or Jerusalem. Basically, the Romans were like still in charge, all right, during that time. And Jesus was basically sticking the finger, I don't know how else to put it, but to that system at the time. So Jesus was an outcast. Jesus was an outlaw. All because he spoke the truth. He stood for the truth. And ultimately, he died for the truth, because he is the truth. So I think, if you want to get real dark, I believe that true Christians because true Christians stand for the truth. And I'll end it right here, right? Because I keep going. True Christians in the years to come, months to come, who knows, right? I mean, I don't think it's getting any better, the way everything is globalized now, or going that way. They killed Christ, dude, because he was the truth. You don't think they're going to kill Christians? They're already killing Christians in these other countries. So true Christians, I believe, don't have much long in this world. Yeah. But if you're a true follower of Christ, I don't think you'll want to have a long life in this world the way things are going. But anyways, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I know I don't have a lot of videos, but like at least like it. Appreciate the support. And yeah, take it easy. God bless.